Hey everyone, it's Hannah here at ColDesi. Now it's become super popular lately to make custom patches, so I wanted to take a minute today in this video and talk about the different patch materials that you'll find on Colman and Company and how they each work. So to start off here, we have PatchTwill, PatchMat, our heat seal, and our heat spun. So the patches you see right here were created using our PatchTwill. Now, I really enjoy using the PatchTwill material because it's a little thick, it has a little bit of a weight to it, and it already has a glue surface behind it. Now, these patches over here were made with our PatchMat material, and you can kind of see this material has more of that embroidered look to it. But PatchMat is very thin and lightweight, and you have to add that glue layer. That is where our heat spun comes in. We also recommend using a backing when using PatchMat. So let's go ahead and apply our heat spun and show you how that works. So I have my PatchTwill already hooped up here because it's virtually ready to go. You can add a backing if you want, but I found that it's not usually too necessary. When you hoop patch material, you want it to be almost like a drum. You want it to be very taut. So I have my PatchMat material here on the heat press because we need to add our heat spun. The heat spun is like webbed glue, and when it heats up and applies onto our patch, it's going to glue these fibers together and make it so it won't stretch. So I'm going to put my PatchMat material with my heat spun under my heat press at 300 degrees for about 10 to 15 seconds, and it's going to glue all of my fibers of my PatchMat material into place. So I'm going to go ahead and sandwich this up and stick it under. All right, I'm going to let this cool down just a little bit. And there we go. We can see that our heat spun has been adhered to our PatchMat material, and now these PatchMat fibers aren't going to shift as much. So now we have the heat spun applied, but there's still a difference in weight between the PatchTwill and the PatchMat. So that's why we're going to recommend to use a backing. So let's go ahead and hoop this together with the backing and the PatchMat. So to give the PatchMat that extra stability like the PatchTwill has, we're going to go ahead and add our backing. Now I recommend using some tempo spray for this. It'll just help adhere the backing, so when you're hooping it won't shift around. This isn't a super strong glue at all. It's nothing like the heat spun. So I'm just going to press that on the back of my PatchMat material and smooth it out. Then I can go ahead and hoop it. And now this is nice and taut, and it's like a drum, just like our PatchTwill material is. So both of these, the PatchMat and the PatchTwill, are ready to be put on your embroidery machine and sewn out. Once your patch is done sewing out, that is when you'll apply the heat seal. Both of these material require heat seal, and what the heat seal does is it's going to seal all of your thread in the back into place, and it's going to create a nice edge for when you cut out your patch with a hot knife. So while the PatchMat may have a couple more steps involved and could take you a little bit more time to prepare, it does have more of that embroidery-like look to it as opposed to the PatchTwill material. So what I recommend is getting both and seeing which one you prefer. So if you have any questions on any of the products used here today and you want to start making custom patches yourself, visit ColmanandCompany.com and you can go ahead and live chat with one of our pros.